As you're well aware, 10 projects have been cleared and are at various stages of implementation. By before the end of this year, we should be seeing the first commercially India-made chips, which will come out of some of the facilities that are being built currently. And truly, India has established its footprint in this area very clearly, and that um, that is finding reflection in how well attended this year's SEMICON is expected to be. The event itself has SEMI, which is an international organization for the semiconductor industry, as the main organizer, and they have their own uh, their own wing now in India, which is also the Indian Semiconductor and Electronics Association, which is the other element of it, who are also co-organizers with us. And it gives me great pleasure to inform all of you that we've made significant advances here, and we have a significant developments to showcase in the India Semicon event, which is coming up. It is part of a global chain of events, and to reflect on where the India Semicon event fits in within the overall global context, I would just like to request Mr. Ajit Manocha, who is the president of SEMI and based in the Bay Area in the United States, and is joining us early morning for him at 5 a.m. online, and he's available with us online. I'd request him to say a few words before we take questions.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't see you yet.
The video goes off. I don't know what's the problem here. We turn it on and then it goes off again. But I think you guys are much more handsome, so that's fine if you don't see it. I think Krishnji, you have summarized this video, the upcoming event extremely well. And what I would add is that SEMI has been doing these events for the last 55 years around the globe. And to my pleasant surprise, the growth of SEMICON in India in 2 years has reached to the level of the mature countries like SEMI Europe for 50 years, SEMICON Southeast Asia for 30 years, and even SEMICON West for 55 years. In terms of the scale that you just described, Krishnji, we are really pleasantly surprised and very happy about the growth. That only suggests the interest for India, potential in India, and the policies that ISM has announced, and the leadership of the ISM and the country itself. I think this is really a testament to the great work most people are doing in the country. So I think our challenge now is, if we look at these all SEMICONs, SEMICON China is the largest event on the planet, and it took 38 years to get where SEMICON China is today. And if we continue this trajectory of SEMICON in 2 years we are doubled, I think we can get to that level in less than 10 years. And that's the goal for the fellow Indians, to really drive the excitement and the inspiration to the world stage industries, so that they can come and help start ecosystem in the country, because that is what needed to become the big powerhouse in semiconductors. With that, I would say keep up the great work. Thank you.
Thank you. For the information of all of you, I think it's important that I didn't mention it in the beginning. The actual schedule of the events would be as follows. September 2nd, the 2nd of September is when the Honorable Prime Minister will inaugurate the event at Yashobhumi in Dwarka. That is the location of the event. There will be further events on 3rd and 4th. Including a CEO's roundtable, which is to be hosted by the Honorable Prime Minister. So that will also be part of what the overall event is. And as you're well aware, in the address to the nation from the Red Fort on Independence Day, the Prime Minister highlighted the success of the India Semiconductor Mission and the number of units which have been approved and what has come to be so far. So clearly, I think this event reflects the confidence and it reflects the kind of growth that Sri Manocha ji just pointed out to you in terms of how things have been growing and the trajectory is moving. And we are very confident that with this event, it would showcase India truly as a key location where semiconductor manufacturing and, of course, in the space of semiconductor design, India has already been a key player, and the manner in which semiconductor design activity will take place in India. So, once again, thank you very much for coming here this evening. And if there are any other questions, we will take them and go forward. Is there anything you want to add?
I just want to add that this is a platform. SEMICON India event is a platform where all relevant stakeholders are at one place. The policymakers from central government, state governments, country collaborations. We have seen that 4 country pavilions are set up in division areas. 6 country roundtables are happening. So all policymakers are here at one place. Then this is a platform for domestic and international companies to collaborate. So 350 plus companies are coming. So either there are some buyers, there are some sellers, there are some technology collaboration, and other kind of partnership. So this kind of synergy we are going to see. So this kind of collaboration, we are seeing that all stakeholders are present. So we can clearly see that this is a platform where all policymakers are here, central government, state government, country MOUs and collaborations were there. So country presence in this SEMICON is a testament of their support. Apart from that, we have design startups company, EDA tool provider companies, then EMS players, manufacturing companies, approved applicants from SEMICON India program, and then many ecosystem players who are keen to supply ecosystem items like chemical, gases, materials, equipment support. All these players are available in one at one platform. So this we see as a perfect collaboration platform where there is a space for everybody. And this year we have a workforce development program also, where students will be mentored by experts. Semiconductor industry experts will be there to mentor them, to give them training also on fabrication, packaging, and design. Apart from that, a lot of career options will be explained to them about this industry. So all these new items, first time this is happening in Semicon, we will see. And I'm happy to say that today the ISA representative, India Electronic Semiconductor representative, Mr. Ashok Chandak is also available with us. So he is representing a global industry, which is actually doing Semicon in 8 other different countries, including India. So this kind of collaboration we can see. So now you can ask questions, and sir is there to answer.
The exhibitors are from 33 countries, 33 different countries. So the
18 countries exhibitors, 33 countries delegates.
No, which are the 4 country
Singapore, Malaysia, Japan, South Korea.
The big names which are expected to be there, we, of course, the big ones which are there in the regular, in the which we normally expect, our own companies are all there. In addition, we have Applied Materials, we have ASML, we have IBM, we have Infineon, KLA, Lam Research, Merck, Micron, PSMC, Rapidex, SanDisk, Siemens, SK Hynix, Tata Electronics, Tokyo Electron. These are some of the prominent ones.
So, do we have any Chinese exhibitors from mainland?
No, we don't.
So are you expecting to, some from Dubai, are you expecting any multi-million or billion-dollar deals through this conference? Eventually, the idea is to get business and more companies to sell.
See, I think this is not an event typically which is organized saying there'll be MOUs or investment commitments made. I think this is more in the nature of an event where, I mean, amongst businesses, they may do that. I mean, they may be, different companies may enter into agreements, may use the occasion to showcase because there are a number of fora in which that can be showcased. But as a government, we are not expecting to sign specific agreements with specific companies saying that this is what is going to happen. If amongst businesses this is happening, it's something we will naturally bless. But as a government, clearly it needs to follow a separate process.
I agree with Sir Ashwin from CABC. Thank you for actually that one question. The other question, sir, I had is that with such a large number of exhibitors and delegates coming from so many officials, will we get some pictures of what ISM 2.0 may look like at Yashu?
We'll wait. You will see at your show. Let's assume they are in a race right now, and you will.
So what kind of facility and opportunity will be available for startups?
You see, startups in the semiconductor space are mostly in the design space. And we have a design linked incentive scheme for startups, which has been reasonably, which has been quite successful. There are about 23 startups which have been approved under that scheme. And in addition, we have another program in MeitY called Chips to Startups, which basically supports through academic institutions and others. We provide EDA tools and other design tools for students and others to start learning how to design and then take it forward. So currently about 280 academic institutions are using those tools and 72 startups are also using those tools. Now we are in the process of trying to see how the design linked incentive scheme can be revamped in order to make it more attractive, in order to enable a broader cross section of companies to actually take advantage of it, and also to ensure that more risk capital is available. We are working with the recently announced RDI, the Research Development Initiative under the Department of Science and Technology, which was cleared. Within the ambit of that, to make sure what kind of risk capital can be made available for these companies so that they can graduate and grow bigger. So all of these are areas that we are seriously looking at. Of course, an important element which has to be ensured is that the intellectual property remains Indian, because one of the challenges we are currently grappling with is about 20% of the semiconductor design workforce, human resources, are India-based. But there are very few companies which stay Indian or where the IP stays with an Indian company. So I think that is an important objective that we'd be aiming towards.
So you mentioned that
I think, let's give it.
Jaspreet Gupta from Financial Express. So just a heads up about safety. So the first SEMICON chip that was announced at the time, so are we expecting them from the first project that were released recently, or are we expecting another project within SEMICON?
No, it will be from one of the 4 projects that were released. It will be from definitely from an ISM supported project, not from outside.
Any clarity on which one? Punjab.
No, those are all very new projects. Yeah.
So you mentioned about taking students from across the country and kind of giving them some support from what kind of opportunities there are. So on a more cluster kind of way, is there anything the government is working on to promote the geographical clusters in terms of expertise? Because we have Benjamin that has shaped up to be a national.
You see, I think we have a program called SENSE, the nanoscience program, under which we have established academic level fabs in Indian Institute of Science and 6 other IITs across the country, including IIT Madras, IIT Delhi, IIT Guwahati, IIT Bombay, and I think IIT Kharagpur, right? So we've established this across the country. Now, these are expected to be centers where other institutes also join. There are a large number of other engineering colleges which use that facility to do their research and move forward. And that has been a very successful program. And periodically, we also hold meetups. It's called the INUP program, Indian Nano Centers Users Program. And we've had successful meetups of the alumni, and many thousands of students and entrepreneurs have got together. So that is a natural cluster which is formed. And now we are trying to see whether we can expand it to more locations. In the sense, IIT Hyderabad has a similar facility, and they want support from MITI to scale that up and cater to something similar. And that is an ongoing effort which continues, where students are able to access this in addition to the Chips to Startup program, which is available across a much wider range of institutions. And I think I'll let him take.
I just wanted to ask you about, like, now as we move forward, of the amount that is public to SEMICON fund, is there any sort of that you can share about in terms of the utilization? And also, going forward now, when we talk about SEMICON, I mean, that has been one competition.
See, clearly, I mean, we have practically committed almost the entire funding which is available under Semicon 1. Uh, the money which we have left will probably only accommodate 2 or 3 very small projects, not very large projects. And with that, I think we will be done in terms of accommodating everything. In Semicon 1, if you recall, it was 65,000 crores for the fabs, 10,000 crores for SCL, the Semiconductors Laboratory at Mohali, and 1,000 crores for the DLI scheme. Now, this 65,000 crore, I think we have committed close to about 63,000, 62,900 crore or so already. And so we have the limited funding which we have available. We might be able to just accommodate 2 or 3 small projects. So with that, that program would be attained. What is happening with SCL, the bids are coming in, so we'll have clarity as to how much of that money will be available. We've already committed almost about 330 crores or so out of the DLI scheme. So that commitment has also been substantial. There'll be more amounts which will need to be paid out there. And when we redesign the scheme, we'll have to add some funds to that. So we are virtually, I would say that funds are almost fully committed under the Semicon 1 scheme. So based on that is what our Semicon 2 scheme is being structured around, and we are in discussions with the Finance Ministry and other ministries in Government of India to take that forward.
So, your companies are from the collaboration which they can be those part
जी,
और दूसरा सर जो भी कैपिटल को होना चाह और कितने देख सकते हैं ये पार्टनर
जी, जैसे मैं अभी बता रहा था आपको, जो अभी तक हमने 10 अप्रूव किए हैं, उसमें से वो जो 65,000 रुपए का जो लागत था, उसमें से करीब करीब 63 करोड़ हजार करोड़ रुपए तक हमने कमिट कर लिया है। तो अभी और 2 या 3 छोटे वाले प्रोजेक्ट की अप्रूवल मंजूरी देने की उम्मीद है। तो करीब करीब वो ISM 1.0 में और नए स्कीम्स आएंगे, उसके लिए नया स्कीम लाना पड़ेगा, मतलब और नए प्रोजेक्ट्स आएंगे तो उसके लिए हमें नया स्कीम लाना पड़ेगा, उसी पर हम अभी काम कर रहे हैं। और दूसरा जो आपने बोला कि क्या जॉइंट वेंचर्स होंगी इंडियन कंपनी से, ऑलरेडी काफ़ी इंडियन कंपनी से जॉइंट वेंचर हो चुकी हैं। टाटा का भी जॉइंट वेंचर है, अब HCL और फॉक्सकॉन का जॉइंट वेंचर है, उसी तरह बाकी भी जॉइंट वेंचर्स इंडियन कंपनीज के साथ हो रही हैं और हमारा उम्मीद है कि आगे भी ऐसे जॉइंट वेंचर्स होंगे। Yeah.
Political disruptions and the technology disruptions that present. I think these are pretty effective future prospects for the industry.
I think
Structure and the restrictions that
No, so far what we have seen is that in India's case, uh, the we are still in a zero tariff regime as far as electronics are concerned. Um, that is the present situation, and we will await to see greater clarity there. But what all the companies have assured us is that given given the investments they've already made and given what is happening, they do not expect too much of a disruption on account of that to the investments which have been made in India thus far.
Technology transfer for the famous has advising the companies that's very that the effect of
See, I mean, the technology doesn't come from only one country. We look at a diversified set of countries from which we can draw technology. So I don't think, I mean, there will be some minor blips here and there, but I don't think it seriously threatens the forward movement of what needs to happen under either the India Semiconductor Mission or under the other programs, the PLI programs for electronics manufacture or the new electronic component manufacture scheme. Yeah.
From the next one. Sir, the last daylight scheme that we saw, that it's being spoken about now, there were some concerns earlier that maybe the funding package is relevant to DLI was maybe not enough for the kind of scale that they were looking at. Maybe it wasn't making business sense for them to take out their deal and start looking for business deals. Are we looking at kind of increasing the overall financial outlay of that scheme? Like, what have you thought is it the design part of it?
See, I cannot speak for the various, the specifics of what will finally come out as a design. It's premature to speak about that. But those are concerns we are attempting to address. We are attempting to address two kinds. I mean, as to how quickly the funds can be made available to the companies and how smoothly it can be done for them to sort of move forward. And also beyond a particular stage, the need for risk capital. It can't all be grant. So that those are the two aspects we are looking at currently, and the design should come out in the days to come.
Is there something that hinders the release of funds in a more time bound manner right now? Is there like
There is nothing which actually hinders. I mean, the design of the scheme originally was on a reimbursement basis. Now they are requiring, many of those are startups and their needs for funds are heavy, so they want some kind of, and the reimbursement is either on an annual basis or a quarterly basis, so which means that all those we have adapted and we are trying to make it on a monthly basis so that they get funds back more quickly. In addition, we can think of possibly grants, because in many cases grants are given. So we can look at mechanisms by which that process is faster so that they don't suffer for want of funding.
One more question to Mr. SEMICON, what the focus as far as the cutting edge that we were looking at was at 28 nanometers that the way we were like. Can we reach that now? Are we at that stage where we can look at beyond 28 nanometers?
You see, I think, look, it all depends. The point here is that as we breach 28 nanometers is one line where the costs go up. Then 14 nanometers is the next line where the costs again go up further. 7 nanometers is the next line where costs go up. So the point is, it's a question of affordability, and it's a question of what the market, the legacy chips all have a market still, and there are many areas where even 180 nanometers has a market. So we'll have to look at the market, find the sweet spot, and I think this is not a vanity race in the sense of, are we at the absolute cutting edge of what needs to be done? I think as people who are starting in the semiconductor industry, it is better and safer for the country to put its bets on slightly more mature technology, make sure that we have a solid base on which to move, and then organically go towards the lower or the uh, uh, those portions of the industry which are more challenging technology. Okay. So if there are no further questions, thank you very much. Thank you.